Hello, Stonehill Algebra students. Today we're going to be writing equations into standard form. Now we all know that standard form is ax plus by equals c. So today we're going to rewrite equations into standard form. There are three things to remember that actually help us write the equations in standard form. Notice, first of all, that x and y are both on the same side of the equal sign. That's the way I remember what standard form is. X and y are on the same side of the equal sign. Notice also that A and B and C are capital letters. That's to remind us of two other things. First of all, A and B and C are not fractions when you are finished putting an equation in standard form. They will be integers. And A must be positive. The one time that A and B and C are not fractions or are not integers is when you are dealing with money, because money doesn't always come in even dollars. But we're just going to say A, B, and C are not going to be fractions, and A must be positive. So here's an example. Y equals 2x plus 4. I need to get x and y on the same side of the equation, so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides, and I get negative 2x plus y equals 4. Am I done? No, I'm not done. I have to make sure that x and its coefficient are positive. So I am going to multiply the whole equation by negative 1. Negative 1 times 2x is positive 2x. Negative 1 times y is negative y. And negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. And that is a standard form equation. Notice that all of the coefficients are integers, and A is positive. Okay. Here's your U try. Y equals negative 4x minus 1. Turn that into standard form. All right, let's look at another example. This equation starts out in point-slope form. Y plus 2 equals 1/3 times x minus 4. I don't know about you, but I do not want to distribute this 1/3 into these parentheses. I will just be spreading that 1/3 all over the place. So instead, I am going to multiply this whole equation by 3. 3 times y is 3y. 3 times 2 is positive 6. Now, how many terms are there on the right side of the equation? There is only one term. So this 3 and this 3 are going to cancel each other out, and I get 1 times x minus 4. Now all I have to do is distribute the 1, and I get 3y plus 6 equals x minus 4. Yes? Now I have to get the x on the other side, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. And I have negative x plus 3y is equal to negative 4 plus negative 6 is negative 10. Am I done here? Well, no, I'm not, because I've got negative sign in front of x. And since I have to have a be positive, I'm going to multiply this whole equation by -1. And I will get x minus 3y is equal to 10. Here's your u-try. Y plus 2 is equal to 3 times x minus 1. Turn that into a standard form equation. All right, here's our next example. This time we're going to be given a slope and a point. And we're going to have to, what I do is I figure out the y equals mx plus b equation first, and then I turn that into standard form. So if our slope is 4, and our point is -8, 0, first thing I want to do is put it into slope-intercept form. So I write y equals mx plus b. I put 0 in for y, 4 in for m, -8 in for x, and b is the one I have to figure out. You might want to use point slope form to get started. That's fine too. I like working through slope-intercept form. 0 is equal to -32 plus b. So if I add 32 to both sides, b is equal to 32. And I write y equals 4x plus 32. Now I have to put this into standard form. That means x and y are on the same side, so I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides, and my y's and my 4's sometimes look the same. I get -4x plus y equals 32. Be careful about these y's and 4's. And now I have to multiply again. I have to multiply the whole equation by -1 and get 4x minus y equals -32. So if you are given a point and a slope, you can either figure out the slope-intercept form equation, or you can use point slope to get started and eventually end up in standard form. Here's your u-try. Slope of 3, and the point is 2, 5. And here's another u-try. This time you have 2 points. You're going to have to figure out the slope and then pick a point to put it into slope-intercept form or standard or point slope form, and then work your way into standard form. All right, I have one more thing to show you. All right, this is called finding the missing coefficient. Let's say we have the standard form equation of 8x plus by equals 4. Notice that we don't know what b is, but we do know that this line goes to the point -5, 4. Can we figure out what b is? How would we do that? Well, remember, an ordered pair is always written as x, y. So I can put -5 in place of x and write 8 times -5 plus b. B is the one thing I don't know, but I do know what y is. Y is 4, so I have 4 times b, and I have equals 4 to finish the equation. Well, 8 times -5 is -40. -40 plus 4b is equal to 4. If I add 40 to both sides, I get 4b equals 44. Divide both sides by 4, and I get b is equal to 11. And there we go. We figured out what b is. And now I can rewrite the equation, putting 11 in place of b. And my final answer is 8x plus 11y equals 4. All right. Do your u-tries. come to class with any questions, and we'll see you